looking for.
Yeah, as well as the Challenger Series from what we've seen. Graves top as well as in the jungle. We saw that being flexed in from the Banditos, the Renegades Banditos. Kindred will be the final ban coming in from Origen, with Lissandra being the second in from URL.
I think we may actually see the Graves jungle on Amazing here. He did mention it in casual conversation that was a pick he was looking at. Otherwise, though, he still has the Lee Sin available, so they may not prio it. Lu is still available, and that is an Origen staple champion. It actually solves a lot of their issues innately as in the pick, because it gives you wave clear mid, it gives you a little bit of tempo in the game, and more importantly, you can play around one of your best performing members, which is Zven, and that is exactly the reason the Unicorns end up banning it out.
Recognize that one in there. So the first pick will be very fast coming in. It's just going to be the Tahm Kench going. Could be in the top lane, could be support. Nice flex to start off the draft for Origen.
Yeah, Tahm Kench right now is almost exclusively a top lane pick, not picked that often in the support because there are so many other good supports. And one of the reasons he really succeeds is because he denies so many plays that you can do on the carries in the game, and more importantly, because this meta has shifted to less tanks and overall more squishy targets, Tahm Kench's base damages are actually enough to keep up with that. So he can run in as a super tank with the great health, still have enough base damages. We saw it, I think, earlier today in the LCK as well, where it was, I believe, CJ versus Bennu. At least it was a match with Bennu. I don't know who the blue team was, but they had a Tahm Kench top lane, and even though you really don't expect much damage coming out of it traditionally, he just tore apart the squishies too in the fight because the base damages are still significant.
Also the same kind of thought process as Lulu to help out the team and facilitate those big carries. So picking up the Tahm Kench, a lot of sense in from Origen. First two pickups from Unicorns of Love, Corki and Lee Sin will be picked up early into the draft.
Yeah, good tempo picks. So a strong early game jungler that can make picks with an 80 carry that fulfills Steelback's playstyle, which is generally cleanup, but can also group early for poke. And Corki, let's not forget, is still a flex pick on this patch, an incredibly strong mid laner right now.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of good Corkis in the mid lane. The package can be very well utilized. Sometimes it can be badly utilized, as we saw yesterday, jumping into the enemy jungle by yourself and getting killed 1v3. Not so good, but Alistar has been picked up here by Origen.
Yeah, a little tank heavy, honestly. First three picks here from Origen. One really super tank in the top lane, tanky jungler, and then Alistar. Obviously, tanky support is almost paramount, almost necessary these days, but they'll need some damage coming out of that. And usually when you fulfill these compositions with late game heavy damage mages, you actually sacrifice early pressure because you go for scaling. So Origen may fall in the same trap if Power of Evil ends up playing another Orianna or something.
Got to see what those two final picks are. Expecting some big damage dealers to come out. Azir was a pick that Power of Evil picked up towards the end of the split, so we might see that come out for him, but it's been a while since we've seen it. Steelback has picked up the Trundle, can go into the top lane, but more likely in the support role now that we've moved on to 6-1. Yeah. He did have some changes which makes top Trundle not so great anymore. Shen is more likely to go in that top lane role. Yeah,
and Trundle support just generally lanes very well into Alistar. Alistar, pretty much whenever you face a good Trundle support, you will yield the lane and just go for some heal sustain type of plays. You can make plays if you have a Kalista on lane, but a good Trundle support should be able to win that lane, especially with an 80 carry flex counter pick possible.
Waiting on these final two pickups from Origen. The first one has been logged in, which will be the Kalista going on Zven. And then waiting for that final one for the mid lane, looking for a high damage dealer with this massively tanky front line that they've already created with the Alistar, Rek'Sai and Tahm Kench. Looks like it may be the Cassiopeia, and indeed that has been logged in. Power of Evil's Cassiopeia is something to be feared.
Yeah, we could see another Zed pickup here for Fox. Obviously, Hylissang is doing the signature Draven Orianna hover, because that's a message he sends to his girlfriend. Really cute. So we're never really going to consider those picks. A lot of Zed last week. Can be comboed with the Shen, you know, to protect him as he's going in. You have some magic damage spread out over the Corki at least. May not be the best though. A lot of Zed denial on the side of Origen, so I doubt that Fox is actually going for it. Maybe a LeBlanc, something that can threaten the Cassiopeia at least with outplay potential from distortion in and out. Having some pressure in the lane early and potentially roam a lot better than Cassio. That could be actually the pick that Unicorns need.
I wonder if that would influence the Summoner Spell pickup from Power of Evil as well. He used to pick up a lot of exhaust in the mid lane when up against assassins like Zed, like LeBlanc. So when they jump in, he's able to stop a lot of that damage that comes in when they try to get their potential off. But the last pickup was Ezreal coming in for Fox, so going for the long-range poke route along with the Corki.
Yeah, so a very... It's hard to tell. How do you characterize this composition? Honestly, Unicorns of Love, definitely looking for a 4-1 split. Where they want to group up Ezreal and Corki in one lane to poke, and they want to place pillars to actually enable that poke or just zone people off the turret so they can start sieging. The mid game will be rough though, because Ezreal right now has a really slow scaling blue build. Corki does have a decent mid-game spike, but they'll have to poke a lot on these heavy tanks before they can actually put any members of Origen in kill range, except maybe Cassiopeia, so have to see how that works out. Obviously, Trundle Pillar, a big nuisance against a very low mobility Cassio pick in the mid lane.
I feel like if this composition falls behind it against these big, heavy tanks, they'll just never scratch them. And then when you get into fights, it's like, well, we just kind of lose. But take a look at the coaches there. Sheepy and Hazel shaking hands before they get onto the battlefield with their teams. And once again, you can take a look at those full team compositions with the players. Make sure to use those hashtags. Hashtag OG win for Origen if you think they're going to take home the win. Or UOL win for the Unicorns of Love. Currently undefeated in the first week as we get into their third game of the split.
Ooh, woo.
Hype.
Lack of crowd makes us cheering up. Yeah, just looking at the compositions, really. Wondering how this game's gonna play out. I think Tahm Kench actually does fine into Shen. I don't think either Shen will maybe get bullied out. I don't think Tahm Kench will ever get bullied out. So in terms of engagement, we have to look at what Origen can do. They'll definitely need to find a sort of flank, because if they all come from the front, I think it'll be easy enough for Unicorns of Love to disengage when they group and actually start sieging. So the win conditions definitely for Unicorns is post 14-15 minutes, group up, start sieging towers. And for Origen, it's to do well in individual lanes and try and shut that down.
Yeah, let's get into this one. So Origen looking for the fan out to start off the game, likewise with the Unicorns of Love. Maybe not likely to see a lane swap up in this game, at least from what we're seeing in terms of where they're currently standing. soaz in the top lane's picked up the Corrupting Potion in the jungle. Amazing actually opting towards the refillable potion versus Fox to start off this game.
I'm actually curious for this top lane. Shen usually wins by out-sustaining with Warp Blades a lot against melee matchups, but Tahm Kench is just Tahm Kench. So I want to see how that plays out 1v1.
Hylissang waiting out here, has seen Power of Evil, Mithy, just going to place down that wards, and actually with the Chomp is able to clear it away.
Yeah, obviously.
Places down his own ward, so 2 wards have to be used to get that vision.
Yeah, Chomp has an auto attack reset built in just the same way Leona Q has, for example, so it's auto Q, auto, clear wards.
Minions have spawned.
Hylissang, the mental advantage going into the game.
Yeah, got that slight CS advantage. Using the game already, amazing. A little bit caught out here by Diamondprox, an extra auto coming in after the Q. That puts him low for the initial jungle clear.
Yeah, and that's actually big, because back in the day maybe you could base, but because Cam spawned at 140 right now, he's starting his jungle on 60%, and that may actually influence his level 3 gank timing. Yeah, he has to use potion there.
Already got through 1 stack of that one. soaz going to be helping him out there, so won't be taking too much damage from this camp, and this clear shouldn't be too bad, but yeah, might influence things down the line and may change what Diamondprox chooses to do.
Oh, interesting. I was going to say Niels, obviously it's Zven right now, start W for the early lane. We've seen a lot of Kallistas recently go for the E to maybe easier losses, especially since you have a melee support that won't be able to provide that initial passive part to get that proc off.
So this is interesting if you take a look at the Keystone Mastery that Alistair was running. We were having some discussion in the office about it, but it's the wind speakers. So this is more of a team fight Keystone Mastery to pick up, because when you get later into the game, you give everyone you heal, because this heal is AoE, extra magic resistance and armor. So it's not looking for the lane, not looking for the Bond of Stone just with Zven, but more as a team fight pick, which makes sense when you take a look at this composition.
Yeah, definitely, especially against those tanks, you know, the added bonus of that, and the power of those heals. But yeah, in lane it doesn't really offer very much. Alistair Kalista should be safe though. They should never die 2v2. They can maybe get zone up CS, but Corki and Trundle's laning patterns are pretty obvious, really. So barring any ganks or really good package usage, this lane should be even on both sides. The outplay is easier to do even on the side of Kalista and Alistair.
Both of them hit level 2, and Hylissang can't really get in range of the Alistair. He just hangs back. Mid lane though, Fox up against Power of Evil. So a couple of trade things happen. Just Fox trying to get out of the way of some of the Noxious Blasts, but there's not too much happening in the early game in this lane.
Yeah, this is a matchup that is basically exemplify what you want to do in mid lane, which is punish people when they walk up to CS. So whenever Cassio goes for his CS, you want to get that Mystic shot out. Whenever Fox walks up, you want to make it drown in poison and maybe engage for the all-in. Power of Evil getting pushed though, so that puts pressure on Cassiopeia, forcing her to use much more mana on the clear. And Fox is pretty safe because he can always shift out a potential knock-up flash from Amazing. So really smart from Fox to just really power push early.
He did miss a lot of minions though while trying to power push, because he was continuously hitting the minions and missing some of those last hits. Top lane though, soaz up against Physicachi. Well, 2 tanks, so they're just going to be bashing away, but not really getting too much done. However, the lane was pushed in, and soaz loses a lot of minions, almost 10 minions behind at 3 minutes in, or 4 minutes in, is quite quite a big disadvantage up against the Shen.
Yeah, the Tahm Kench isn't as tanky yet, hasn't picked up any resistances, so the repetitive bullying that we see here from Vizicsacsi, you know, auto Q, auto coming out, and the fact that he can sustain himself up while pushing, made it so that he pushed into soaz, and soaz did a poor job lasting under the tower. So again, good matchup read here from Vizicsacsi.
So it's not really in danger of dying, but missing minions more than anything.
In a way, this influences the early game, at least if this continues. Obviously, the first few levels doesn't matter, but if every lane is pushing, it makes it incredibly hard for the jungle to operate in between those lanes. So Amazing has a hard time operating, going aggressive onto Diamondprox's jungle, because both laners will be able to react a lot quicker since they're pushing in their opponents in their respective lanes.
Wonder what Diamondprox will do from here then. Currently, he's just gone back to base, picked up the Tracker's Knife and a Pink Ward as well, so that may be a defensive one. Or he might try and get into the jungle of Amazing. A little harder because Tremor Sense, but soaz picking up Vizicsacsi will be jumping back through, but Amazing being there and a flash knockup under tower. This is a little bit risky with Diamondprox with the counter guy. Will flash after the auto attack. The gold goes over to him for the first blood. Another tower shot lands onto soaz and a follow-up for the double kill coming in for Diamondprox.
And this is massive, and this is something we've seen before from Origen. They're just not on the same page right here. soaz knew it was too risky, especially since Diamondprox hadn't revealed himself on the map so far at all, and then overall they won that trade, but Amazing goes in for the greed, and you can just see how close that really was. Diamondprox beautifully outplaying there. Really, Vizicsacsi too, just that one Q auto. We're gonna see it again. So soaz acts as if he's laning normal right now. You see Amazing is not committing right now because he wants it to seem as if it's a normal 1v1. Chachi flashes, and here, look, soaz turns around. This is no communication here, whatever, because they could have popped Chachi because all he needed was one extra auto after what's going to happen next here. So imagine if there was one additional auto a little earlier. Maybe Chachi dies, maybe it's a 1-for-1, but now Diamondprox, not only do they get the kill there, they also allow that massive wave to be soaked up perfectly. No CS denial. Imagine if they just waited out a tower, had Vizicsacsi on 20%. He couldn't touch any of that CS, even if Diamondprox joined. So a big error in communication for Origen. And that spells bigger problems than any draft, really.
And what we can say for certain is Diamondprox's performance in Week 1 was not a fluke. That was just a good read from him going into the top lane.
I mean, it was still, I don't know, man. It's an instant play. It was fantastic play, really good mechanical play. But from shot calling wise or pure strategy, there's not much you can highlight because it was really,
We happened to be there, right?
It was like, these guys are diving, really? Well, I'm only Sin, so I'll just take these 2 kills. But yeah, 2-0, stats don't lie.
Sure, he was in the area though. Fox continuing to farm up. Both of those kills went to Diamondprox though, so he's picked up the Warhammer. So actually, it'll be way stronger than Amazing if he finds him in the jungle. Also hit level 6 off of that gank as well from the extra experience, so he's got that huge spike in power. So if he goes for another gank, his ability to flash kick, or if he finds Amazing, has the ability to execution in the jungle.
Kills did go to Diamondprox, so only assist for Vizicsacsi, so soaz isn't punished as hard. Can obviously start building tanky, wants to reset that wave. Need to see if Amazing can get a gank somewhere. That's the problem right now. He's obviously very far behind Diamondprox. If it comes to any altercation in the jungles, Diamond will win that. He could also start ward jumping behind mid lane right now for a kick. That's what he's looking for. But it's hard because obviously Fox will have to change his movement. If Ezreal from Rack's range suddenly starts playing closer, the gank generally is given away.
Kind of easy to read. With Power of Evil, also with Flash and his ultimate still, going anywhere near that turret if they're even going to take any damage is very, very dangerous. Diamondprox chooses not to do that, but will pass over a ward here, which was placed down, I believe, by Amazing with the Tracker's Knife. So we're going to see him going into the top side. Tunnel goes into the bottom side, though, from Amazing. Take a look at the double pink wards being set up in the river, though, by Origen. Already establishing that vision control so they can track Diamondprox. Yeah, that's a really good point. These pink wards in the river is definitely what you want in this patch because they're so cheap, and even if they last only like 1 or 2 minutes, the fact that you gain vision there and you have guaranteed knowledge that they don't have any vision in the area, and very often they last longer than average wards right now, which is only like 230, definitely worth doing. So teams should really invest more in pink wards. And speaking of pink wards, it just spotted out Amazing as well, so you get so much value from those things. Only 75 gold, so the price of old green wards, so there's really no reason not to. Amazing into the jungle now of Diamondprox, and knows he's not in that side of the jungle. Also knew that he cleared it recently, so you get a general idea of where Diamondprox is currently. soaz is trading up against Chachi in the top lane, but it's not a whole lot of damage as he shadow dashes away. Takes a bit more damage, and those auto attacks do more. And this is exactly what we were talking about earlier. Yeah, early game, the Vorpal Blades regen and the repetitive harass matters, but even, this is not even like mid game, this is like early game phase 2.
the tankiness, the innate tankiness and just Tahm Kench with the levels becomes so strong in a 1v1 scenario that nobody can sustain him, and he just bullies you out. Even though Vizicachi has an experience advantage, has 2 extra assists. Yes, he did opt in for CDR boots, who don't give you that many pure combat stats, but in an extended fight, you know, CDR is still valuable. So as a straight up winning that trade, even though he's down 0-0-2.
Only got the Barmy Cinder as well, so it's not even like he's super well built in this lane. Nope. That being said, Chachi has gone for the Lucidity boots, so not a tanky option in top lane, but he's not really in danger of dying 1v1.
And one issue the Unicorns have here, composition-wise, is that they'll be waiting for action to happen from Origen, and then punish that with a Shen teleport. But there's very little proactivity on their side, unless Diamondprox finds an opening behind somewhere, using the Shen ulti on himself and ward hopping, because there's otherwise it's so incredibly hard to force any kills. Like Trundle Pillar is the only inkling of engage that they have other than that. So Origen being slightly behind isn't the worst, because the Unicorns can't push their advantage unless they group and siege turrets.
Well, the most proactivity we've seen from Diamondprox so far has been taking that blue buff in the jungle away from Amazing. He's now still staying around the area, having taken the crab, has the extra movement speed as well to quickly react to a potential top lane gank from Amazing. And Alistair's also heading up as well. Mithy looking for this play to be set up, but I believe Diamondprox has seen it out. However, he's just on the edge of vision from that ward that was placed down by Amazing.
And what all prompted this was Corki initially picking up the package, so a lot of teams will make map-wide plays, never return to bot lane with the package. Diamondprox about to face check.
This is not going to be good for Diamondprox. So much damage already. Headbutts it into the tower. soaz just needs to lick him down, and then gets the shutdown onto Lee Sin. Also gobbles of Vizicachi, puts him under the tower. Now Steelbacks and Hillisang has to back away, and Power of Evil there to meet Chachi, so there's no way he's going to get out of here. Fox also reacts from the middle lane. He'll have to get out of here.
Yeah, and this is an example of playing a week 1 style in week 2, where AD carries pick up the package, they think they're being smart, let's not return to bot lane, but Origen this time, instead of being behind on the plays like League 1, they're ahead of the curve. They know Corki's going to a side lane, they know it's likely not going to be mid, so they head top. Mithy beautifully reads that. Again, a little bit of miscommunication, both knockups at the same time, but Diamondprox gets obliterated. Unicorns have left panic engage with the package instead of calling up that play, and suddenly you're looking at a big gold lead here for Origen, thwarting the growth of Unicorns, and we likely will not see them group as much anymore, because right now they're under threat of a potential R-Flash engage from Power of Evil, for example.
Yeah, at the very least, it was a little unfortunate for Diamondprox as he was on the very edge of that vision range. Generally, kind of a weird vision placement or a ward placement to be placed right there at the jungle entrance, so he wasn't expecting that one. Mid lane, Power of Evil opted towards the swiftness boots. He had that as well with the alacrity, so he roamed to that gank actually very quickly before Fox as that happened. So even if they reacted at the same time, there's a lot more movement speed over to Power of Evil. He did that immediately after the tier as well, so prioritizing that mobility a lot in this game.
Yeah, and we're seeing the issues here of laning both Ezreal and Corki. I mean, it's fantastic if you get the group, but Diamondprox is asking himself, how do I gank this lane? And the only gankable lane he has, where he has CC that to enable him, was the Shen lane in top. But you can't really gank a Tahm Kench if he has any bit of support right now. You're going on Mithy, he should have his ultimate available, so he should be fine.
But he hasn't activated it just yet, and he's already down very low. Fate's Call will come up and maybe re-engage onto Chachi. Now he pops the ultimate and the heal as well. Chachi will still follow up, though, with the Stand United onto Mithy. Zven turns around, gets the Rend off for the kill onto Hillisang, and with amazing soaz closing in from the backlines, they should have enough CC maybe to get another kill, or at least burn some summoners. Chachi is not in a good situation. Has to just walk away from his allies. Steelback may also go down here to Amazing, and that will be the kill finalized. Diamondprox now being followed after, but he is too slippery to kill. Another 3 kills over to Origen.
Yeah, and just oh so tanky. They just don't care. They walk through that tower for absolute ages, and because they have double tank there, soaz can just soak up so much. And this time, we saw what was lacking between soaz and Amazing was exactly there between Mithy and Zven. No nerves whatsoever, super calm, no panic ulti from Mithy. Very often when Alistair's reached about 30% in solo queue environments, you'll see both Fate's Call come out and the Unbreakable. Play Ruin. They know they have Fate's Call, they know they have heal available. Mithy popped his ultimate later on, and meanwhile, Niels or Zven right now is just stacking spears over and over, and then just goes like pop, reset, gets the kill, and at that point, Unicorns, yeah, they've lost that play.
It was very impressive. Even I was starting to panic as well. It was like, you need to ult, man.
Do something.
You gotta go.
It's like when you're watching a show and you're really rooting for the characters. Do something, please.
But it was all an act from Origen, and
but we can't.
Got them those kills.
Because we have to be impartial, Pulse.
Oh, that's right, yes, indeed.
No bias.
Oh, Chachi in this jungle. I believe he was seen out by the tremor sensors. He just walked into that bush, and the ward goes over the wall, so now they know Chachi's here. Has the Shadow Dash and his Flash, so he should be able to get away. Power Reaver over the wall. That's a lot of damage from Twin Fangs. We'll get that blue buff. Yes, it is a blue buff, and it doesn't have that many resistances, but still, 14 minutes in, a lot of damage. Amazing heading up to the top side to defend his turret as well. From the siege coming in from Steelback and Hylissang. Decent minion wave, but now only casting minions. He really wants to get in there and get the Queen's Wrath down and get some knock-up onto Hylissang, so it's enough to dissuade them from going any further. Diamondprox looking to react here, along with soaz. It'll be the 3 versus 2, but with both of them being so tanky, now being soaz and amazing, not going to look for the dive just right.
Yeah, more importantly, you get punished for diving a top Kench because it takes a while to kill him, and it takes him barely any time to get 3 stacks on you, and then he eats you, and then the play is pretty much ruined. Especially Tower Aggro can't shift and stuff like that, so it's incredibly hard, almost impossible. And OG right now, yeah, both Power Reaver and Zven have really big marks painted on their head because they're repetitive damage dealers. Like, they either stack up the Twin Fangs or the Ren stacks, and if you can get them out of the fight, really Origen will lack damage overall. But to reach them, it's very, very hard, especially since you have to take into account there's Devour, there is the best peeling support right now in this meta. This is why Alistar is very often picked first pick over in LCK LPL, especially this week, so it's gonna be a tough climb for the Unicorns.
Oh, nice Shadow Dash by Chachi, getting out of the headbutt there.
Yeah, that actually changed. Well, when they nerfed Alistar's headbutt to, I think, 1200 missile speed instead of 1500, a lot of these interactions where you hop over the Alistar or through the headbutt became possible. It's really annoying. The Alistars will have to take that into account and just wait for people to dash gap goes on them and then queue them up, knock them back.
Certainly triggers me as I played a lot of AP Alistar and so much just flash well. That's all my combo damage gone.
Yup.
Lucky.
You're never lucky.
No. Hylissang though gets the pillar down, but Zven has a hop, so he's able to get over the pillar. 5-2 currently. Origen significantly ahead of Unicorns of Love, and this is something you mentioned in Champions Select. As soon as Unicorns of Love start getting behind with his poke composition with Ezreal Corki and Yukon start chunking out the front line, that's already very tanky from Origen. How do you get back into this game?
The one play they have right now, it's Taunt Flash into package or package Shen delivery. So Shen ulti into package, knock somebody out, instant taunt, and then follow up with Trundle, stealing some resistances from some guy and trying to wreck him. Because the cool thing about poke is that it's repetitive low cooldown damage that you can really disincentivize people from fighting you. But if you have to use it in a defensive manner, it's not instant wave pool. Like, none of these champions blow up a wave immediately, so Origen can actually set up for sieges or plays, and playing poke from behind is just excruciatingly hard. So Unicorns definitely need to start making a play, otherwise Origen will take complete control. You just look at the towers. 3 towers still up at 16, 17 minutes. That means Unicorns did something wrong.
Already falling behind, and the gold differential doesn't really tell the full story as well. Only 4,000 gold ahead. Origen still significant at 17 minutes into the game though. 2 dragons over to them. Unlikely we'll see a 5 dragons play, but still ahead in this one. The first dragon, definitely one of the more valuable ones because of the extra AD and AP it gives. Definitely more combat stats versus the other buffs.
Yeah, more importantly, just the openings are getting fewer and fewer and far in between. If you look at Diamondprox, the only play he made, or whether you can argue whether it's that he could have made or that he made, really that in the middle, but it was one counter gank in the top lane. That was a reactive play. Right now, Unicorns have not set up any waves, any groups, any package plays, any Shen ultimates proactively, and that is seemingly coming to bite them.
Chachi takes a bit of damage from Amazing, but has that warded up already. There's a big push coming here in the top lane with the minion wave, so Origen should be able to rotate towards this. And with no one really in position from Unicorns of Love with decent wave there, it's going to be very difficult to stop them. That being said, Chachi has his taunt there. Alternatively, with the kick, might be able to get something done. Yeah,
and you can definitely see how they pivot around that really big area with Fog of War. They have complete vision control over the Rift Scuttler already, even though they don't want to. soaz may have bitten off more than he could chew. Nope, he still has his entire health bar and great health available. We can definitely see the vision control Origen have set up right now, and especially since these pink wards cost forever, they can just keep doing the same thing. Pressure in on 2 lanes, remove any possibility of counterplay from Unicorns as well for the next 5 to 6 minutes, and then they have another option on the table, which will be Baron. Right now they take the Rift Scuttler, obviously won't really do that too much for them. But they just have so complete vision control right now, and Unicorns have left all their moves would be obvious. and then it's so hard to find an opening.
I really like giving the Herald over to Zven as well, not only giving him extra combat stats, the 10% extra damage to dual Chachi, but also for the additional wave pushing potential it gives. Just kind of signifies he's going to be the one doing split push in the 1-3-1 in the top lane. Oh, the E does not land from Chachi, but Steelback's there to back him up, so it's not going to end up in the, a big issue. Frostbomb will clear out the rest of the wave, and now Zven will back off. Yeah,
one of the biggest things on that buff, actually, is that it gives you 40 extra base movement speed, which actually matters a lot in this game. Just it allows you to really be a lot safer and be even harder to get caught, really. And that's what you want, you know, just avoid these risky situations. Right now, Origen grouping up with 4 people in the mid lane. Ezreal's doing blue buff right now, so that tower's going to fall. And if this mid lane tower falls, it's going to get a lot worse, because what Origen's doing on the left side of the map in terms of vision, they can now mirror on the right side, and they have complete control of this game. They won't even have to ward their own jungle anymore. Unicorns of Love don't even remember what the Raptor camp at Origen side looked like.
No, and you can take a look at that vision line as well, progressively getting closer into the Unicorns of Love territory. They're gradually being choked out of this game. Amazing will just go right into the enemy jungle and take away this red buff as soon as it comes up. There's nothing that Unicorns of Love can really do about it because they're not setting up any of these plays.
Your buff? My buff. So he takes it. Niels can safely path through the enemy jungle to the top lane. So Origen, thanks to that vision, they get to cut corners. Whereas the Unicorns, thanks to the lack of vision, they need to circumvene the corners. They have to take the whole safe path all the way around, or they will risk getting caught right now. And that enough gives you, over time, gives you just a gold advantage, because, hang on, you're finally seeing an aggressive play here. No more extra movement speed. Jukes the taunt.
Wow, gets out of it and just turns around as well with Amazing coming in. So as the cavalry has arrived. That's the first kill, made that the second. And Hylissang looks to be going down in this engage as well. Fox is there to assist his allies. Power of Evil with the flank though, with a big ultimate for 1-2. Kill, 2 kills, and maybe the 5th as well. Making that the clean ace. The triple kill coming in for Zven.
Ace for Origen, and all on the back of Zven doing that absolutely, and quickshot haste is word, disgusting sidestep. That's how you tilt an entire team. Everybody's looking at that play. It's like, okay, Shen's gonna land. He's gonna miss taunt. Okay, that is 5 kills into a Baron here. And that is literally game over.
So many resources pumped into that play, Crepo.
Let's watch that again. So Zven, he has a little bit of the buff left. Trundle Pillar makes him path around, that's good. Diamondprox goes in. But I think you should have ward dash if you had it potentially, or flashed preemptively, because you know Sven's gonna flash, so you don't want to trade flashes there, and that's just sick. This is why Zven is one of the best just AD carries, in my opinion, in the world when he plays on his A game.
That was insane. And Hylissang will also go down here. They lost everything from that.
Yeah, and then R flash for Power of Evil. Remember, it's not flash R because it's Cassiopeia. Mithy comes in, knock up, knock back. Problem knocks, that's Alistar for you. But overall, what I want to take away from this clip is what Unicorns did is the right play in this situation. You have to hard engage force. The issue I have with the play is that they did it when they were 6,000 gold down, and they didn't recognize that it would come to a situation like this. If you respect your opponent to play well, you know you will have to force something like this, and they could have done it at 2,000 gold disadvantage, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. Instead, they decided to wait at 6,000, and right now they're behind 11,000. TLDR, play to your win condition. Imagine how the game is going to play out and predict your future, and if it's not looking to grim, try and change it.
That was the one play that could have potentially brought them back into this game, but now they're dropping left, right, and center, dropping like flies. Hylissang goes down, middle turret will be falling to Origen as well. Just a matter of time before they start cracking the inner base. I believe that was just a W from soaz, which chunked Fox out. Hasn't built any AP either. He's just so far behind in this game. The middle turret goes down, looking for the inhibitor as well. It doesn't look like Unicorns of Love have a chance in hell at winning this game.
Yeah, you said it in Champs like calls, like what if they get behind, you know, what if these tanks actually get really tanky and the AD carries don't do as much damage? Well, then exactly this is happening. Blue build Ezreal is still scaling up. Corki has passed his major power spike, which is the boots, the Magic 10 boots with the Triforce. They did poke out Power of Evil here, so that may actually stop the push a little bit.
May or maybe not, because Mithy comes in with the engage and Steelback goes down. Fox tries to escape and Diamondprox tries to kill the back line. Does manage to get Power of Evil, but everyone else on the team of Origen is just as strong. Mithy still CCing up the 2 retreating members of Unicorns of Love. That's a 2-for-1 plus the top inhibitor, and this may be curtains for the Unicorns of Love.
Yeah, good flying from Diamondprox, comes around, takes out the main damage dealer on paper, but at this point in the game, everybody is a main damage dealer, bar maybe Mithy. Origen looking to clean up Nexus towers. This is all from one push, by the way. This is a couple tier 2s, the entire base in shambles, almost a Nexus tower, so this will be an absolutely insane Baron power play.
Amazing, just backing up here. Diamondprox seeing if he can get anything. Maybe one of the stragglers who's trying to retreat. Mithy, an amazing low. Mithy already used his ultimate, but with the Baron buff still alive, they have enhanced Rekkles. Has to be very fast on the draw if they wanted to kill, and just can't find anyone from Origen. So Unicorns slunk back to their base, have to clear out some of these minions. And sometimes in these situations to be like, well, at least they're getting some gold come into them as the minions push in.
Yeah, that's what you tell your team. It's like, guys, it's okay.
We can still win, guys. I'm in my promos. Don't surrender.
We're getting free farm right now. This is all a trick to lure the enemy into a false sense of security. They give us 2 lanes of free push. Yeah, I think it'll be 3 lanes of free push, and then Origen will get plus 50 gold from the Nexus really soon. Complete control. I mean, if they manage to somehow throw this, they're actually at 3 dragons already, which is super early for this meta, so yeah. The Unicorns, it is obvious though, their plays. Let's watch this again. Good move by Diamondprox, by the way. Really good flank here, and on Power of Evil, and Origen being actually a little overconfident. Zven is untouched. Mithy double knock up here. Fox just can't get it. You know, he's a poke champion. He's not made for these close range duels, especially not when 12k behind. Not at this point in the game. Late game, Ezreal does more damage than Kalista in most settings, but it's just not there yet.
Origen gonna make sure they can kill every single tower in this game to maximize their fantasy points. The bottom tower will be falling as well. Diamondprox gonna try and make a play perhaps with Chachi on top of them. Also, as this is gonna eat him and stop that from happening. Jumping onto Zven here, see if they can pick up that 1 kill, maybe start the ball rolling. But Chachi already chunked down. He has to get out of this fight. Diamondprox jumps in, immediately CC'd up and taken down. Here's a Sang, gets on top of Power of Evil, but even out of mana, he's gonna go out as well. Double kill over to Power of Evil, 4 kills for 0. Not a single tower has gone down for Origen in this game, and Chachi is just left alive to try and stop this from happening. But the Nexus will be falling, and Origen take the win over Unicorns of Love.
But yeah, for the Unicorns going home, it'll be a very easily adjustable defeat. It's not like they lost in many key moments. It is, yes, the draft, and more just playing to your win conditions and trying to break out of a losing situation quicker. It took them way too long to realize that that was the play they had.
ডিএল রায়ের অসামান্য একটি গানের কথা মনে পড়ল এক্ষুনি। আজি আমার অন্তর ভাসিয়া যায় তোমার কাছে। এই গানেরই একটি কথা বারবার মনে পড়ে। আজি অতীত বর্তমান হয়ে দেখা দেয়। কখনো কখনো প্রিয় মানুষের কথা মনে পড়লে তার স্মৃতি, তার কথা যেন আজকের দিনের মতোই জীবন্ত মনে হয়। কঠিন বর্তমানকে চিন্তা করে যদি ক্লান্ত আর বিষণ্ণ বিপন্ন হতে হয়, তবে এই বর্তমানে চিন্তা না করাই ভালো। কখনো কখনো সোনালী অতীত মনে করে, প্রিয় সঙ্গ সুখের কথা মনে করে আমরা ভালো থাকতে পারি, কিছুটা আনন্দে থাকতে পারি। আজ সারাটা দিন সবার জন্য শুভ হোক, এই শুভ প্রত্যাশায় শুরু করছি আজকের দিন প্রতিদিন। আজ দিন প্রতিদিনে রয়েছে আজ কোথায় কি, আবার পড়ুন স্বাস্থ্য কথন, ইতিহাসে আজকের দিন, আপনার মতামত, আজকের বাংলাভিশন এবং সবশেষে আনন্দ আড্ডা। প্রিয় দর্শক, আমাদের আনন্দ আড্ডার আজকের অতিথি বাংলাদেশ ফিজিক্স অলিম্পিয়াড কমিটির সাধারণ সম্পাদক ফয়েজ আহমেদ জাহাঙ্গীর মাসুদ। কথা বলবো অতিথির সাথে। স্যার কেমন আছেন?
ভালো আছি, আপনি ভালো আছেন?
আমি অনেক ভালো আছি স্যার। আপনার সঙ্গে কথা বলবো, আমরা এই ফিজিক্স অলিম্পিয়াড কমিটি সম্পর্কে অনেক কিছু জানতে পারবো। তবে প্রিয় দর্শক, তার আগে আমাদের নিয়মিত কিছু পরিবেশনা। আজ বাংলাদেশ শিল্পকলা একাডেমির জাতীয় নাট্যশালার মূল থিয়েটার হলে রয়েছে উদ্ভাসনের পরিবেশনায় নাটক নকশিকাঁথার মাঠ। একাডেমির এক্সপেরিমেন্টাল থিয়েটার হলে রয়েছে থিয়েটার বেইলি রোডের পরিবেশনায় নাটক পায়ের আওয়াজ পাওয়া যায়। একাডেমির স্টুডিও থিয়েটার হলে রয়েছে স্বরচিত্র আবৃত্তি চর্চা ও বিকাশ কেন্দ্রের আয়োজনে আবৃত্তি অনুষ্ঠান। বেঙ্গল শিল্পালয়ে চলছে শিল্পী মোহাম্মদ টোকনের নিস্তব্ধ প্রান্ত শীর্ষক একক চিত্রকলা প্রদর্শনী। প্রদর্শনী চলবে আগামী 14 জানুয়ারি 2012 পর্যন্ত। সময় প্রতিদিন দুপুর 12টা থেকে রাত 8টা। আমরা মাঝে মাঝে দু একটি পুরনো বইয়ের কথা বলি, যেসব বই এখন আর বাজারে কিনতে পাওয়া যায় না, কিন্তু বিভিন্ন লাইব্রেরিতে খোঁজ করলে পাওয়া যেতে পারে, এমন বইয়েরও খোঁজ খবর দেই। বাংলা গদ্যের শুরুর দিকে একটি বইয়ের নাম ফুলমণি ও করুণার বিবরণ। এই বইটি লিখেছেন হ্যানা ক্যাথরিন মুলেন্স। অনেকের মতে এটি বাংলা সাহিত্যের প্রথম উপন্যাস। এর বিষয়বস্তু খ্রিস্ট ধর্মান্তরিত এক বাঙালির গৃহজীবন। 1952 সালে চিত্তরঞ্জন বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায়ের ভূমিকা সহ বইটি পুনঃপ্রকাশিত হয়। প্রিয় দর্শক, আজকে স্বাস্থ্য কথনে শিশুর মানসিক বিকাশ নিয়ে কয়েকটি কথা বলতে চাই। বেশিরভাগ পরিবারে শিশুরা তাদের ইচ্ছের মূল্য পায় না। শিশুরা তাদের বাবা মার ইচ্ছে মতো সবকিছু যন্ত্রের মতো করে যায়। এতে শিশুদের মানসিক বিকাশটা ঠিক হয়ে ওঠে না। শিশুকে প্রতিদিন একটু একটু করে স্বাধীনতা দিতে হবে। কিছু কিছু ব্যাপারে শিশুর ইচ্ছের মূল্য দিতে হবে। এটা করো, ওটা করো, এটা করো না, ওটা করো না, এইসব উপদেশ শুনতে শুনতে কোনো কোনো শিশু বিষণ্ণ হয়ে পড়ে। শিশুরা আদেশ উপদেশ পালন করছে এমনটা যাতে মনে না করে, তেমন ভাবেই তাদের সঙ্গে বাবা মার আচরণ করা উচিত। অতীতে ঘটে যাওয়া ঘটনাপঞ্জি নিয়ে আমাদের প্রতিদিনের আয়োজন ইতিহাসে আজকের দিন।
আজ 12ই জানুয়ারি রোম সম্রাট ম্যাক্সিমিলিয়ানের মৃত্যু হয় 1519 সালের এই দিনে। 1848 সালের এই দিনে ভারতের গভর্নর জেনারেল হয়ে লর্ড ডালহৌসি কলকাতায় আসেন। হিন্দু ধর্ম ও সমাজ সংস্কারক স্বামী বিবেকানন্দ জন্মগ্রহণ করেন 1863 সালের এই দিনে। 1866 সালের এই দিনে লন্ডনে রয়্যাল অ্যারোনটিক্যাল সোসাইটি প্রতিষ্ঠিত হয়। 1879 সালের এই দিনে জুলু যুদ্ধ শুরু হয়। মুদ্রাকর ও শর্ট হ্যান্ড লিপির উদ্ভাবক স্যার আইজ্যাক পিটম্যানের মৃত্যু হয় 1897 সালের এই দিনে। 1899 সালের এই দিনে নোবেলজয়ী সুইস রসায়নবিদ পল হেরম্যান মুলার জন্মগ্রহণ করেন। নোবেলজয়ী মহিলা বিজ্ঞানী ইরেন জুলিও কুরি কলকাতায় ক্যান্সার হাসপাতাল উদ্বোধন করেন 1950 সালের এই দিনে। 1970 সালের এই দিনে নিউ ইয়র্ক থেকে যাত্রা করে আটলান্টিক মহাসাগর পাড়ি দিয়ে প্রথম 747 বোয়িং বিমান হিথ্রো বিমানবন্দর স্পর্শ করে। রহস্য উপন্যাসের কিংবদন্তি লেখিকা আগাথা ক্রিস্টের মৃত্যু হয় 1976 সালের এই দিনে।
প্রিয় দর্শক, আপনাদের পাঠানো মতামত নিয়ে আমাদের এখনকার আয়োজন আপনার মতামত। কুমিল্লা থেকে শিহাব লিখেছেন, প্রিয় দিশা আপু, প্রথমে আপনাকে এবং দিন প্রতিদিনকে আন্তরিক শুভেচ্ছা জানাচ্ছি। বাংলা ভিশনের নিয়মিত অনুষ্ঠান দিন প্রতিদিন একটি সকালবেলার জনপ্রিয় অনুষ্ঠান। সম্প্রতি আমাদের দেশে সড়ক দুর্ঘটনা আশঙ্কাজনকভাবে বৃদ্ধি পেয়েছে। সড়ক দুর্ঘটনার প্রতিকার সম্পর্কিত একটা ভিডিও চিত্র প্রচারের জন্য বিশেষভাবে অনুরোধ করছি। চট্টগ্রাম থেকে ঐশী লিখেছেন, প্রিয় আপু, দিন প্রতিদিনে অনেক কিছুই দেখানো হয়, কিন্তু কোনো গান প্রচার করা হয় না কেন? আমার মনে হয় দিন প্রতিদিন একটা করে গান প্রচার করলে অনুষ্ঠানটি অনেক বেশি জনপ্রিয়তা অর্জন করবে। পরিশেষে আপনাকে অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ। সুপ্রিয় দর্শক, আপনাদের পাঠানো চিঠিপত্রের জন্য অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ। আর আপনাদের অনুরোধগুলো আমরা পৌঁছে দিচ্ছি বাংলা ভিশন কর্তৃপক্ষের কাছে। প্রিয় দর্শক, আজ বাংলা ভিশনের পর্দায় আপনাদের জন্য রয়েছে সকাল 11:05 সরাসরি অনুষ্ঠান সকালবেলার রোদ্দুর, প্রযোজনা কাউনিন সৌরভ। বিকাল 5:20 ভর্তি পরীক্ষা বিষয়ক সরাসরি অনুষ্ঠান পরীক্ষা প্রস্তুতি, প্রযোজনা মামুন খান।
ইংরেজি জ্ঞানী যদি টেস্ট করতে হয় তাহলে এইভাবে এমন প্রশ্ন দেওয়া উচিত না যেটা মুখস্থ করে একজন প্রার্থী একজন পরীক্ষার্থী পার পেয়ে যাবে।
সন্ধ্যা 6:05 কৃষি বিষয়ক অনুষ্ঠান শ্যামল বাংলা, প্রযোজনা রেজা ইসলাম। রাত 8:15 ধারাবাহিক নাটক নো প্রবলেম, রচনা নজরুল ইসলাম ও শমি ইসলাম, পরিচালনা অম্লান বিশ্বাস। রাত 9:05 জনপ্রিয় অভিনেত্রী বিপাশা হায়াতের উপস্থাপনায় সেলিব্রিটি টক শো বিপাশার অতিথি, প্রযোজনা তারেক আখুন।
মাঝে মাঝে খুব বোকা লোকের চরিত্রে অভিনয় করো, তোমাকে সত্যি মনে হয় তুমি বোকা, তখন তোমার বুদ্ধিমত্তার অংশটা কোথায় যায়?
অভিনেতা তো আসলে চরিত্রহীন।
রাত 9:45 ধারাবাহিক নাটক গুলশান এভিনিউ, ক্রিয়েটিভ ডিরেক্টর নিমা রহমান, এপিসোড ডিরেক্টর শতীফুর রহমান।
আশ্চর্য, এখানে কান্নারই বা কি হলো? ওটা তো আমাদের মন ছিলই না। সবসময় অন্যের দোষ তুমি নিজের ঘাড়ে চাপিয়ে নাও।
রাত 11:25 টক অফ দি উইক, প্রযোজনা মামুন খান। দর্শক, এছাড়াও সকাল 7:30, সকাল 10টা, বেলা 11টা, দুপুর 12টা, 2টা, বিকাল 4টা, 5টা, সন্ধ্যা 7:30, রাত 10:30 এবং রাত 1টা দেখুন বাংলা ভিশন সংবাদ। প্রিয় দর্শক, এবার আমাদের সবশেষ আয়োজন আনন্দ আড্ডা। আসুন ফিরে যাই আজকের অতিথির কাছে। স্যার, প্রথমে আমি আসলে এই যে কমিটিটি আছে বাংলাদেশ ফিজিক্স অলিম্পিয়াড কমিটি সম্পর্কে জানতে চাই।
আসলে হচ্ছে গত বছর আমরা প্রথম বাংলাদেশে ফিজিক্স অলিম্পিয়াড করেছিলাম। দুটি অর্গানাইজেশন আমাদের সহযোগিতা করেছিল, একটি হচ্ছে অক্সফোর্ড ইন্টারন্যাশনাল স্কুল আরেকটা হচ্ছে ডেইলি স্টার। তাদের জয়েন্ট কোলাবোরেশনে আমরা অলিম্পিয়াড করেছিলাম। তারপর যেটা হচ্ছে যে যেহেতু এটা ফিজিক্স অলিম্পিয়াড, এই অলিম্পিয়াডটি চালানোর জন্য এবং প্রতি বছর নিয়মিতভাবে এটি যাতে আমরা প্রচার করতে পারি সেজন্য ঢাকা বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়, শাহজালাল ইউনিভার্সিটি অফ সায়েন্স অ্যান্ড টেকনোলজি, বুয়েট, এই সমস্ত বিভিন্ন বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ের প্রফেসরদের নিয়ে এবং পদার্থবিদদের নিয়ে একটা কমিটি গঠনের প্রস্তাব করা হলো এবং এই বছর এই কমিটিটা হলো। এবং এই কমিটির আমাদের সভাপতি হচ্ছেন প্রফেসর খোরশেদ আহমেদ কবি এবং সহসভাপতি হচ্ছেন, আপনার নাম শুনে থাকবেন, প্রফেসর ডক্টর মোহাম্মদ জাফর ইকবাল। তো ওনাদের নিয়ে আমরা আসলে এই কমিটিটা করেছি।
বাংলাদেশে এটা সেকেন্ড টাইম হচ্ছে এই ফিজিক্স অলিম্পিয়াড। এখন যেমন আন্তর্জাতিক ক্ষেত্রে 42তম হচ্ছে, আন্তর্জাতিক ক্ষেত্রে
এটা এই বছর এটা 43তম
হবে।
গত বছর 42তম।
তো কিরকম মনে হচ্ছে আসলে বাংলাদেশ থেকে কিরকম পাচ্ছেন অংশগ্রহণ বা সাড়া?
আমরা আসলে ব্যাপক সাড়া পেয়েছি। গত 6 তারিখে আমাদের চট্টগ্রাম বিভাগে ডিভিশন অলিম্পিয়াডটি হলো এবং এখানে আমরা আমাদের কন্টেস্টেন্ট ছিল প্রায় 600। আপনি জেনে থাকবেন যে প্রথম অলিম্পিয়াডে যেটি শুধু আপনার জাতীয় পর্যায়ে হয়েছিল, কোনো ডিভিশন হয়নি এবং সেখানে আমাদের কন্টেস্টেন্ট ছিল 450। আর এবার শুধু চট্টগ্রাম ডিভিশন থেকে আমরা মানে 6 শতাধিক ছাত্রছাত্রী পেয়েছি। সো ব্যাপক সাড়া আমরা পাচ্ছি। তারপরে হচ্ছে আমাদের দিনাজপুর, এভাবে আমরা 7টি বিভাগে করে আমরা এদের থেকে মেধা বাছাই করে আমরা জাতীয় পর্যায়ে করব এবং সেখান থেকে আমরা বাছাই করব আসলে কারা যাবে 43তম অলিম্পিয়াড, যেটা এস্তোনিয়াতে অনুষ্ঠিত হবে সেখানে।
আচ্ছা, তো একটা জিনিস আমি জানতে চাইবো যে এই অলিম্পিয়াড, ফিজিক্স অলিম্পিয়াডে যারা অংশ নিচ্ছে তাদের কি কোনো বিশেষ বয়স সীমা আছে কিনা, কিংবা যোগ্যতাটা কি হবে তাদের ক্ষেত্রে?
আসলে যেটা হচ্ছে গত বছর আমাদের অলিম্পিয়াডের দুটো ক্যাটাগরি ছিল। একটা ছিল ক্যাটাগরি হচ্ছে আপনার হচ্ছে 9-10, আর এটা ছিল 11-12 প্লাস। কিন্তু আমরা দেখলাম আসলে ওই রুট থেকে বিজ্ঞান চর্চাটা আসলে রুট থেকে হওয়া উচিত। সো সেক্ষেত্রে আমরা এবার করেছি একটি ক্যাটাগরি বাড়িয়েছি, 7-8 করেছি। আর যেহেতু আন্তর্জাতিক অলিম্পিয়াডে অংশগ্রহণের জন্য দরকার হচ্ছে আপনার অনূর্ধ্ব 20 এবং হচ্ছে প্রাক বিশ্ববিদ্যালয় স্টুডেন্ট যারা এখনো বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ে যারা ভর্তি হয়নি তারা, কিন্তু বয়স 20 আছে তাদের, সেই জন্য আমরা হচ্ছে 3টা ক্যাটাগরি করছি। বিশেষ নিচে থাকতে হবে এবং হচ্ছে বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ে এখনো পড়ছে না এরকম স্টুডেন্ট থাকতে হবে। সেই 3টা ক্যাটাগরি থেকে আমরা কম্পিটিশন করছি। কিন্তু এখানে একটি বিষয় আমি বলে রাখি, সেটা হচ্ছে যে আমার ক্যাটাগরি এ বি যারা জাতীয় পর্যায়ে অংশগ্রহণ করবে তারা জাতীয় পর্যায়ে আমরা সার্টিফিকেট দিব, আমরা অ্যাওয়ার্ড দিব, কিন্তু তারা তো আন্তর্জাতিক পর্যায়ে যেতে পারছে না। আন্তর্জাতিক পর্যায়ে যাবে শুধু ক্যাটাগরি সি থেকে।
যেহেতু দ্বিতীয় বাংলাদেশ ফিজিক্স অলিম্পিয়াড হচ্ছে, এর আগে নিশ্চয়ই একবার হয়েছে, তো সেখান থেকে আন্তর্জাতিক ফিজিক্স অলিম্পিয়াডেও গিয়েছে, আমাদের দেশ থেকে প্রতিনিধিত্ব করেছে। তো সেক্ষেত্রে কিরকম ছিল, সাফল্যটা কিরকম ছিল?
সারা বিশ্বে যেভাবে বিজ্ঞান চর্চা হচ্ছে আমাদের দেশে এরকম হচ্ছে না। আমাদের ফিজিক্স অলিম্পিয়াডের স্বপ্ন অনেকে দেখেছেন বিভিন্ন সময়। আমাদের যারা পিতৃতুল্য শিক্ষক যারা আছেন, প্রফেসর যারা আছেন, তারা স্বপ্ন দেখেছেন। তারপর হচ্ছে আমাদের ছাত্রছাত্রীরা, তারপরে আমাদের বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ের ছাত্রছাত্রীরাও আমাদের স্বপ্ন দেখেছে অলিম্পিয়াডটা হবে। কিন্তু আমরা আসলে খুব স্বল্প সময়ে একটা সিদ্ধান্ত নিয়ে আমরা অলিম্পিয়াড শুরু করেছিলাম এবং সেক্ষেত্রে আমাদের প্রতিকূলতা ছিল অনেক বেশি এবং আমাদের যে ট্রেনিং করেছিলাম সেই ট্রেনিংয়ের সময়টাও ছিল খুবই কম। তারপর আমাদের প্রত্যাশা ছিল আসলে সেরকম প্রত্যাশা ছিল না। তো আমাদেরকে আমরা যখন যাই তখন আমাদেরকে যারা আমাদের পৃষ্ঠপোষক যারা ছিল সবাই বলেছে যে তোমরা ঘাবড়ে যেও না, কারণ হচ্ছে এবার তোমাদের কাছে আমাদের কোনো প্রত্যাশা নেই। তো গেলাম আমরা ওখানে, অংশগ্রহণ করলাম। করার পর যেটা হচ্ছে যে প্রতি বছরই কিন্তু আপনার নতুন কিছু দেশ অংশগ্রহণ করে, প্রতি বছরই বেশ কয়েকটি নতুন দেশ হিসেবে অংশগ্রহণ করে। তো আমরাও সেই নতুন দেশ হিসেবে অংশগ্রহণ করেছি। কিন্তু সেখানে আপনারা হয়তো পত্রিকায় দেখে থাকবেন যে বড় করে আসছিল বাংলাদেশ প্রথম আমরা প্রথম হয়েছিলাম। আমরা নতুন দেশগুলোর মধ্যে প্রথম হয়েছিলাম এবং অন্যান্য যেই সমস্ত অ্যাওয়ার্ড ছিল, মানে যেখানে আপনার ইউরোপিয়ান কান্ট্রিগুলো আছে, আপনার সব অলিম্পিয়াড কম্পিটিশনে তো আমাদের এশিয়ার রাজত্ব থাকে, চায়না, জাপান, আপনার হচ্ছে হংকং, কোরিয়াদের রাজত্ব থাকে। এই সমস্ত কম্বাইন্ড কম্পিটিশনে কিন্তু আমরা আমাদের দুটো পদক ছিনিয়ে এনেছিলাম, অনারেবল মেনশন, যেটা ছিল আসলে বিস্ময়কর একটা সাফল্য। তো আমরা হচ্ছে আসলে এটা আমাদের জন্য বিশাল অ্যাচিভমেন্ট স্বল্প সময়। তো এটা দিয়ে আসলে যে জিনিসটা হয়েছে যে আমাদের দেশে মেধা আছে, মেধা ছড়িয়ে আছে। আমাদের কিন্তু সম্পদ সীমিত, কিন্তু আমাদের সবচেয়ে বড় সম্পদ কিন্তু হচ্ছে আমাদের মেধা। সেই মেধাগুলো ছড়িয়ে ছিটিয়ে আছে। আমরা কিন্তু অনুপ্রাণিত, উৎসাহিত, আমাদের বাচ্চারা উৎসাহিত। এই যে আমি একটু আগে আপনাকে যে এক্সাম্পলটা দিলাম, যে যেখানে জাতীয় পর্যায়ে ছিল 400, 450, সেখানে আমার একটা ডিভিশনে হচ্ছে 600। সো সেক্ষেত্রে আমাদের বাচ্চারা কিন্তু উৎসাহিত। আমাদের কোনো একজন আমাদের আগের বলেছিলেন যে পদার্থবিজ্ঞানী বলে গিয়েছিলেন যে আমাদের দেশের বাচ্চাদের বিজ্ঞানের প্রতি যেরকম উৎসাহ সারা বিশ্বে কোথাও নেই। উৎসাহ আছে কিন্তু আমাদের সুযোগটা কম। এতগুলো আপনার শিক্ষা প্রতিষ্ঠান সারা দেশে ছড়িয়ে আছে, দেখেন ওখানে আপনার একটা ভালো ইনস্ট্রুমেন্ট নেই, ভালো ল্যাবরেটরি নেই, সেখানে শিক্ষকদেরও ঘাটতি আছে। ঠিক আছে, তো ওদেরকে যদি আমরা উৎসাহিত করতে পারি, অনুপ্রাণিত করতে পারি, তাহলে কিন্তু ওদের থেকে আমরা মেধা বের করে নিয়ে আসতে পারবো। আমাদের দেশে বিজ্ঞান চর্চা হবে এবং সারা বিশ্বে আমরা আমাদের অবস্থান সুযোগ করতে পারবো। আপনি দেখেন যে আপনি ওই যে আপনার মেঘনাথ সাহার কথা বলেন, সত্যেন বোসের কথা বলেন, কুদ্দাতি খুদার কথা বলেন, জগদীশ চন্দ্র বসুর নাম আপনারা শুনেছেন, তারা কিন্তু অমরত্ব দিয়ে গেছেন, তাই না? তো হচ্ছে যে সেরকম আমরা কিন্তু এখন পাচ্ছি না, কারণ এই একটি কারণ, সেটাকে আমাদের
সুযোগটাকে বানাতে হবে।
আর আরেকটি কথা আমি এখানে আপনাকে বলবো, সেটা হচ্ছে আমাদের দেশে কিন্তু আপনার হচ্ছে যারা ওই বিজ্ঞানে যারা পড়াশোনা করে, সেখানে আপনার আমাদের কারিকুলামে কিন্তু একটু ঘাটতি আছে। আপনি জানেন একটা ইংরেজি মাধ্যম একটা আছে, এটা হচ্ছে বাংলা মাধ্যম। সেখানে কিন্তু ছাত্রছাত্রীর মধ্যে একটা ফ্রাস্ট্রেশন কাজ করে, ইভেন প্যারেন্টসদের মধ্যে। সেই ফ্রাস্ট্রেশনটা কোথায়? কারণ আপনি দেখেন যারা ইংরেজি মাধ্যমে পড়াশোনা করে তারা কিন্তু আমাদের দেশে পাবলিক যে বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়গুলো আছে সেখানে ভর্তি কিন্তু তাদের আপনার একটা পিছিয়ে পড়ে, কারণ হচ্ছে ওখানকার সিলেবাসটা একটু আলাদা। আচ্ছা, আবার যারা বাংলা মাধ্যমে পড়াশোনা করে তারাও একটু আপনার ফ্রাস্ট্রেশন থাকে যে তারা হচ্ছে যে আপনার উচ্চশিক্ষার জন্য বিদেশে যাওয়ার ক্ষেত্রে তারা একটু পিছিয়ে পড়ে, তারা ইংরেজি চর্চাটা মানে একটু কম আছে। তো সেই ক্ষেত্রে যদিও বাংলা মাধ্যমে ইংরেজি বাধ্যতামূলক, আবার ইংরেজি মাধ্যমে বাংলা বাধ্যতামূলক, কিন্তু তাদের কারিকুলাম সম্পূর্ণ আলাদা। সো এটাকে যদি আমরা একটা জেনারেল কারিকুলামে নিয়ে আসতে পারি, তারই কিন্তু একটি প্রচেষ্টা আমাদের এই বাংলাদেশ ফিজিক্স অলিম্পিয়াডে রয়েছে। আমরা একটা আলাদা কারিকুলাম করছি, সেখানে বেঙ্গলি ভার্সন আছে, ইংলিশ ভার্সন আছে। গতকালকে আমরা ডিভিশন অলিম্পিয়াডে যেটা অবজার্ভ করলাম, আমরা দেখলাম যে প্রায় 50% বেঙ্গলি মিডিয়াম এবং 50% ইংলিশ মিডিয়াম, এবং সেটা আমাদেরকে খুবই উৎসাহিত করেছে এবং আমরা দুটো কারিকুলামকে একসাথে আনতে পারি।